On this entry here, which is a 1 to 9, how could we have taken it? Let's start from the higher time frames, as always, to really understand the situation. This was the weekly, so for those who follow me, you know that I like to analyze multiple time frames, and here we had just broken this previous structure on GBP USD. So what does that mean? Does it mean that now we should only buy because we're bullish? No, because if we now go down to the daily, we'll see how. As we always say, even if we're bullish, the higher low, higher high, all of this daily retracement could be on 4 hour or 1 hour, a bearish trend that we can obviously take advantage of. We need to put the situation into context. And I will explain all these concepts in much more detail, one by one. Here I will provide a lot of information. I've already uploaded a video where I explain my strategy, how I operate in the market, and how I behave. It's very useful. Meanwhile, what can I do on the daily? I draw Fibonacci from the low to the high of the previous extension, not to figure out where I could have bought, but to understand where this extension might end. We can see that it basically reached the -23, which is one of my favorite levels for the end of an extension. And in fact, the market is starting to react there. Here it gave us an engulfing pattern, so if I switch to H1, what do I see? First of all, my dominance has turned bearish, right? And here, how could we have entered to catch the retracement? Because we see that the market could at least reach this structure to retest it. If we go back up to H4 for a moment, we can see it better. This was the structure that the market could retest, so if I go down to H1, where could I have entered? A good area where I would like to find an entry is here, because this is where the impulse starts that breaks the previous structures. Then for those who already have some experience even from H1, it's clear that here they unbalanced the previous high before making the move. Now let's go down to the smaller time frames. Let's go to M30 and you can see how they unbalanced it. At the same time, they went back to retest the previous structure. Obviously, they don't do things randomly, so they unbalanced it and at the same time closed the structure in terms of price action. Where could they have come back to? I go and take the last buy candle, this nice full-bodied one right before the sell, which broke the previous lows. So in the end, here it lines up with number theory. 31 becomes 20, 20, 50, 80. Which in the end is also an entry point where in the internal test, because we know from Wyckoff that this was the previous structure, okay, where the price was bouncing, this is the imbalance closing the structure, and we know that they can come and do the internal test here, right? So we place the market entry here with the stop loss above the rejection of the buy candle we selected. Where can we set the take profit? I really like this structure. As an extra confirmation, what do? I draw Fibonacci from the high to the previous low and take a look at the end extension levels. Here I have the -23, which is still an area, let's see, a nice one where these lows were, but the -61 is my favorite area because we can see there's the structure we marked, so a take profit could be set here, more or less at this level. Let's let it play out, okay? We see that the market reaches this point and reacts very well, and here it hits take profit. As I mentioned, I remind you that I've explained all these things in detail here with lots of videos, so leave a follow if you want to stay updated with all the training, a like if you enjoyed the video, and a comment to let me know what you think.